What do I want to do, Jack?
You want to rock.
I want to rock. Okay, you ready?
Down the field, Hollywood!
Let me think about that one.
77 yards! Whoa! Who is this kid?
Let's do it.
All right. Today, she can't even stop from laughing. Today is going to go down as one of my most favorite days ever. Because I actually just recently did some brain scans and realized that I have a decent amount of brain trauma and brain damage. So a lot of the stories that are going to be told today here are going to be told with great detail. Great detail. And I'm not going to be doing it alone. By my side, metaphorically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, is my greatest friend with 2 feet. She is an author. She's a hairstylist. She's a general manager of Kathy D's in Florham Park, New Jersey. She has 178 nieces and nephews.
Literally.
She's 13 inches shorter than me. My best friend in the whole wide world, Jaclyn DellaTorre. Aunt Jackie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're going to have fun today. Jackie is out in Southern California visiting me. She just landed yesterday, and we picked her up. I had my 4 older kids with me, and we took our kids to the Jurassic tour. And it was fun.
So worth it.
It was really fun, but it was awful.
It was awful.
So
but it was
JurassicTour.com, if you're watching this right now, I want my I want my refund. That was bad.
It was bad.
But you know what? That just goes to show you. And honestly, like yesterday was really just like a microcosm for our relationship, because it really doesn't matter where we are, who we're with, or what we're doing. We always find a way to create fun and to create memories.
It's true.
So today, we're going to take a little walk down memory lane with my best friend, Jackie. She has... I don't know, Jackie, you know what? Why don't you tell everybody about yourself? I mean, I kind of gave, I don't want to say the highlights. I kind of gave kind of the funny parts of who you are, but tell everybody a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, how you grew up.
I'm from New Jersey.
Woo, woo!
I love New Jersey.
I love New Jersey, too.
New Jersey dork. I grew up just in a regular house with a regular family, but I also have a fake family who took care of me too, which is fun. And I have a huge extended family.
Humongous. Jackie's Italian.
Yeah.
And when I said she has 178 nieces and nephews, like, they're not blood relatives. And my kids obviously are not blood relatives because I'm 13 inches taller than you. But I actually am 13 inches taller than you. Like, for real.
I'm 5'2". Yeah, you're 6'3".
6'3". So go ahead. So when I say blood relatives, Italian people, regardless if they share the same DNA code,
right?
Family is family, and that's one thing that, like, for me and my family as a dad, I've always admired how Italian people, just in general, like, family is not blood. Like, family's like earned.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I also, though, do have literally 31 first cousins.
Monster family. And tell everybody about your hometown. How it's like gangster capital of America.
We have a reputation for that, I guess. Yes.
Jackie, just because we're on the podcast, don't get nervous. You're not going to get whacked. There's gangsters in your hometown. Italian mafia gangster. She doesn't want to talk about it. Look at her. She's tight-lipped because she doesn't want to be a rat. You don't want to be a rat. But yes, there are probably more Italian gangsters, like real-life gangsters, organized crime in her hometown than anywhere else in New Jersey combined, just in your little borough. She won't say because she doesn't want to get whacked, but the Italians love me, and I love Italians, and I'm pretty much a Jersey boy anyway, so you know what? I'm going to say it. But her hometown is really, really awesome. We've done some like philanthropic stuff there that has been a lot of fun. But let's talk about how you grew up, and then I want to get into the storytelling. Is really so you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. You know, you grew up with a brother.
I have one brother, and then
Is his name Paulie or Anthony?
my brother's Neil.
Oh, okay, of course.
Of course. And then I also grew up with my neighbor's family, and they have 4 kids, Joseph, Janelle, James, and Gianni. And they're like my siblings also.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gianni has become a good friend of mine. And Gianni, about 7 years ago probably, started dating Nicole?
And I think like 2010.
Yeah, so it's been 9 years.
Yeah.
So about 9 years ago, Gianni Lavelle, which pretty much is like her little brother, started dating Nicole, a.k.a. Snooki.
Yeah.
Then they got married, and they have 2 babies.
Yep. And one on the way.
And he's become a good friend of mine. And in the NFL off seasons, once my kids started to get older, before they got older, I would spend the NFL seasons in the city that I'd play. So like when I played for the Saints, I'd play for the Saints for like 6 months. When the season was over, I'd come out to California. As my kids got older, we decided to stay in New Jersey in the off seasons. And so I was actually able to take part in the family tradition of going over to the Lavalle's house and having Sunday dinner. And I feel like I fit right in.
Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, I was only like.
You were just 2 feet taller than
Just
everyone.
like a foot taller than everybody, and my son is taller than you now.
I know.
But man, dude, what an awesome family that you grew up with.
I did.
I mean,
yeah.
I really
Our
do. I love
Sunday
them
dinners are like
family.
holidays for normal people.
It's like better, like a normal Sunday at the Lavalle's, eating Janice's food and really just getting a chance to like sit with Joe and Joseph and Joey and Paul and Paulie and Anthony.
There's no Paul and Paulie. No Anthony.
But it was just awesome people, good food, and they really do, man. They treat their own like family, regardless if you share the same
You walk in and they
deoxyribonucleic acid or not.
Yeah.
That was a fancy word for DNA.
It was.
Trying to score some points there. But yeah, just an awesome family. And so I got to enjoy the Italian Sunday dinners like the way it's supposed to be done.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons I've always really just like admired the Italian culture in general, is because the way that they value family.
Right.
So that was cool. So continue
but
on. So you had your
think
fake family.
Janice doesn't even act like somebody new is there. She'll like hand you dishes to put in the sink and
like
take
family.
the garbage out. Yeah.
But here's the thing though. There's like there's a filtering process in order to take somebody over there for Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't just bring anyone.
No, you can't just like bring your friend from off the streets. Like it's like if you get invited or you're there, they treat you the same as everybody else. But not everybody gets in on Sunday dinner.
No. That's true.
But every once in a while, somebody will come that like somebody has a tiff with, and it's like it gets ironed out quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, JJ's knocking on the door. Hey, Jay, I'm trying to do a podcast in here. You're supposed to be upstairs reading a book.
Okay, you a new one. I'll buy you a new one.
And
I'll
Jackie
mail
will
it to
get
you.
you a new
Okay.
one. Bye, Jay.
Bye, JJ.
So my 2-year-old just walked in on our podcast. We're just keeping it real here.
We are.
The Weatherford Show. I told you this was going to be a different
She
episode.
broke the tail off her toy
usually,
I bought her.
Usually when we do podcasts, it's like 100 millionaires. Like next week, I'm doing a podcast with Ed Milet. His net worth is $500 million. And this is just going to be different. You know, there's not going to be like the top 5 tactics for being successful. We're going to tell some stories I've never told before. And it's going to be fun. So you grew up with the Lavalles.
Yep.
And
all of my cousins. My grandma has 22 grandkids on one side, and we all were together all the time too. We love my Rinaldi side also. Is fun and exciting, and they're wild. They do like relay races on holidays. Like they're not normal.
That other side of your family is awesome too.
They're wild. Yeah, they're like
they party a little harder.
Oh yeah, they're
Rinaldis are off the chains.
Rinaldis are.
Big shout out to Livy. Livy's my favorite Rinaldi. Sorry, Luke.
She says she's the Kim of our family.
She is. She's the Kim K. All right, so now let's get into, and so now you've been the general manager of Kathy D's hair salon in Florham Park, New Jersey for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, for 19 years.
19 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And you just had your 38th birthday.
I did.
You've been managing that salon as long as you've been alive. Half as long as
Half-
you've been half
Like
as long
the
as you've been alone.
first couple years, I didn't manage it, but like 15 years.
You pretty much manage it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Kathy D.
Yeah.
You run that thing, and she knows it. All right, so let's talk about how we met.
Okay.
Do you want me to start the story?
I will.
Okay. All right, hold on. I'll set the stage,
Okay.
and then once we get to the point where I actually meet you, then I will. All right, so my NFL career started 3 years with the New Orleans Saints. Then I went to the Jags for a season, and then from the Jags, I went out and had a tryout or a workout tryout with the Jets. I ended up being offered a contract. I signed my contract, and I think the next day I go to practice, and the first place I go in town is to get my hair cut because I'm just getting out of training camp. And I walk into, as fate would have it, Kathy D's hair salon in Florham Park, New Jersey, which is like 1.8 miles from the Jets, the New York Jets training facility, which is also in Florham Park, New Jersey.
Yes.
And this is when I give the storytelling to you. I'm going to try my best not to interrupt.
Okay. And then you walked in for a haircut, and you sat in my chair, and I started cutting your hair, and you were like, well, yeah, I'm going to start working at the Meadowlands. Like, you didn't want to say you were a football player, but I assumed it because you were so big, and I didn't know anybody that big. And then as I'm cutting your hair, you explained to me that you just moved here, and you have a wife and a little boy, and your wife was pregnant, and that you had no friends. So then you asked me to be your best friend. And I said, no thanks. That's weird.
You told me no thanks?
Yes, because it was weird. I just met you that day.
I'm in need.
And then
I'm lonely. I'm in a new city. I have like a wife and a son.
It was weird for an adult to ask another adult to be their best friend, I thought. So then
I've dealt with rejection before, but I did persevere.
Because then every week you would come on your off day and get a haircut every week, and then I would run into you and Laura at like Target and the mall, I think, and all over anywhere I went, and you would say, "See, we're best friends. See, we're best friends." Every time.
Knew it from the moment I sat in your chair, and when I was sitting in your chair, I knew when I looked in the mirror to get my hair cut, and I was still taller than you. that short little girl was going to be my best friend.
And then fast forward 9.5 years, and you're my best friend. So you're
I've
right.
been working on you for a long time. When do you think you it's kind of like Steve Urkel. What was the girl that he was chasing around? Laura?
Yeah, Laura.
Steve Urkel chased around Laura forever.
Right.
And then finally he wore her down.
Yeah.
How long did I have to Steve Urkel you before you were like, fine?
Not that long.
Hey, Gorilla Man. I'll be your friend now.
Once Carney was born.
When Carney was born, because I remember I tried to pay you for babysitting her. You're like, no. I'm like, you're just over here for 3 hours and you won't let me pay you. I was like, maybe she wants to be my friend now.
No, I felt bad for you guys that you had no family, and I wanted to help you.
So you became my best friend out of pity?
No, I became your best friend because I could tell that you needed a friend at that time because you had no family or anything. You just had a baby or new family in town.
It's kind of like you felt bad for me.
No, but I know what it's like to have a big family, so I felt bad that you didn't have a family around. But I didn't pity you.
I thought you were going to be like, well, I became your best friend because you're so kind and you're so generous and
well,
your
then
arms
I
are
didn't
so
even
big
know
and
that.
you are pretty handsome.
I didn't know any of that. And I didn't care about football, so that was why Laura let me be your best friend, I think.
It's actually probably one of the most attractive, not most, but it's probably in the top 5 attractive traits about you as a friend is you don't even know the rules to football, much less a fan of football.
I've disappointed Laura a lot of times when we were at games because I didn't know what was happening.
Jackie would be I would get Jackie tickets to almost every home game that we had when I played for the Jets or when I played for the Giants. And you probably, I don't know, you probably went to 40 or 50 games.
A lot. I went to a lot of games.
You still don't know the rules.
Nope. I don't know the rules.
And I could have the worst game ever, or I could have just lit the world on fire, and you were like, you did so good, regardless. The same reaction after the game. I'll walk out of the locker room, and then they have a family area where the wife and the kids and blah, 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 blah would gather underneath the stadium. So I'd walk out of the locker room, and sometimes, like, if we would get our butts kicked, I'm coming out and I'm, like, pissed off. Or I had a bad game, I come out, I'm pissed off. Or I, like, played really well, I come out and pissed off. You had the same look on your face every single week.
I was excited to see you.
But you would think, I mean, spending, let's say you went to 50 games, and the games are 3 hours. You watched 150 hours of football, and you still don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Quiz. How many points is a field goal worth?
Sometimes 1.
It is sometimes 1.
And sometimes 3. I know that
What's
part.
what's a safety?
Oh, I don't know that part. I don't know that one.
What's offsides?
I don't know that either.
How many points do you get for a touchdown?
7. 6.
6. There you go. All right, she got half of them.
The worst, the only time I ever saw Laura be so disappointed in me was when you were playing a game, but you were like on the sideline, and you know how the players would wear those big puffy jackets, like Eli would wear.
Like big, the parkas when it was super cold.
It was super cold, but like I had never seen that before, and I said to Laura, "Look at that weird coat Eli's wearing," and she goes, "He's on the field." Eli was playing. Like, he was playing in the game. I didn't even know that.
Eli was throwing the football.
I thought he was the one standing on the sideline, and she was so disappointed in me. She's like, Jackie,
but that's one of the reasons I love you. And my wife, just so everybody knows,
she's so
my wife,
smart at football.
Right now, as we're doing this podcast, what is my wife doing?
She's watching football.
She's watching football.
Yeah, she could be a coach. She literally should recruit players.
She knows
She's
all of
so
the players.
good at
She knows
yeah.
all of their positions. She knows statistics.
She knew like what colleges they went to. We'd be playing and she would be listing the colleges. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? How do you even know that?
She loves
She's
football.
so smart about that.
She's smart in general, but she freaking just loves football. She'll sit around and watch football by herself. Like, my son's got ADD, so he will watch a quarter here and there and then go upstairs and play video games and go outside and shoot hoops. She'll sit there and watch the whole game by herself.
She loves football.
She loves football.
Even more than you do.
I don't even like football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I loved playing it. I loved competing and trying to be the best in the world and all this other stuff. But, like, the game itself, like, I didn't love it like that. I love basketball. Like, I love, like, fitness. But, like, football, I could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? I think there's, like, so many good things that football does for people. But just, like, on the whole, and with, like, brain concussions and, you know, the trauma and, like, just seeing, like, dude, I've lost 3 friends to, like, brain trauma and ALS and, like, suicide because of CTE and stuff like that. So I'm not a huge football fan, although I'm thankful for the position that I played and the fact that, like, I didn't sustain that much brain trauma.
Me too.
But let's cheer it up a little bit. And, hey, let's talk about some adventures now.
Okay.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Well,
spin the wheel.
Just talk about the worst one first. The most embarrassing one first. Just do it. I know you want to.
Let's warm them up.
Okay.
Okay, so let's, before we get to the worst one.
Okay.
When I say the worst one, is like Jackie's not going to be real proud of this because there's going to be tens of thousands of people. There'll be 100,000 people that listen to this. We're getting a lot of downloads right now. By the way, thank you to everybody that is subscribed and everybody that has left a review because our podcast is growing exponentially right now. And we're going to shift gears a little bit. You know, this is not necessarily personal development or self-improvement. This is me and my best friend storytelling.
Yes.
Storytelling with Aunt Jackie. I think that's going to be the caption of the show.
Okay.
Like last week it was like the 10 tools to dominate 2019, and this week it's going to be storytelling with Aunt Jackie.
I feel like I should be knitting.
Can you look at the camera and go like this? That will be the screenshot thumbnail of the show is you and I going like this. Here, let's do it. This camera right here. All right. So let's talk about the time we went to Yankee Stadium. I actually forgot about this one, so I'm glad we're going to be able to like talk our way all the way through the story. And we've got like 4 or 5, I don't know, maybe 6 stories that we could mention today. But let's talk about, we've got one from Yankee Stadium. What is he, a senator or a governor? And the governor of New Jersey, which
Governor
is governor of New Jersey. That's a good story. We've got a really good story from the party after the NFC Championship game, which is the story she doesn't want me to tell yet.
Right.
We've got a Jackie's birthday story. We've We've got another story of Cory Booker, the United States Senator.
Hopefully president one day.
Yeah, I know. I love that guy.
2020.
Big shout out to Cory Booker, by the way. Cory, I'm going to make sure that you listen to this podcast, friend. I love you. Project Prom. Let's start with Project Prom.
Okay,
Let's start off with a super happy story.
Yeah.
Start the party, Jackie.
Oh.
What is Project Prom?
Project Prom is Steve finds a local high school in New Jersey, and that is in need of some help, right?
Yeah,
Financial
essentially
help.
it started after Hurricane Sandy.
Yes, and
so
you went down
Hurricane
the shore.
Sandy hit New Jersey like wicked hard.
Yeah.
And like so many high schools and so many people got displaced, and we went to the Jersey Shore and we handed out food and water and stuff, and I was like hyper involved with a lot of the families and everything. But you look around at like all the homes were being replaced, the cars were being replaced, the clothes, the food, all these. It was awesome to see New Jersey come together and take care of their own. In addition to, I just saw, like, from my own eyes, because we were knee deep in it. We were literally
we had
going
no
to ground
power
zero. Yeah,
for 2 weeks, all
right.
of us. Yeah.
I mean, we were displaced too. Like I had to go sleep at Lawrence Tynes, our kicker for the Giants. I had to go sleep at his house.
Well, I just told Carney the story that right after, remember, Laura's dad came and picked them up because she had just had Ra,
right.
and that me and you we took the ferry into the city so we could charge our phones. We found a restaurant that had power and we charged our phones.
It was hard to find power.
Yeah. New York had power.
So we were really involved in kind of really the efforts to help the community.
Yeah.
But there was one thing that I noticed that wasn't being done to replace like life experiences for kids in general. Because I mean, adults giving them life experiences I think is super important. But at the end of the day, man, you go to high school one time,
right,
and you have senior prom one time,
right.
And because of this storm, there were so many kids that weren't going to be able to have the opportunity to create the memories of going to their senior prom because of a storm. Yeah. Like you'll never have another opportunity.
Right.
To go to prom. And so I created kind of an idea, vision to...
I think it was in Waretown.
The first one we did?
The first one, like Waretown or Manahawkin, like somewhere really far south.
I thought it was
like LBI.
South Region High School or something like that?
I think that's it.
Yeah, South Regional High School.
Yeah.
It was where the Skibas, our equipment managers, they were from that high school.
Oh,
like
okay.
South Regional High School.
Oh, okay.
But we've done it like probably a dozen schools by now, right?
Yeah.
We need to start doing that.
My favorite one was our last one we did,
I know.
Well,
I know.
So
we'll get into that story. So anyway, what we did with Project Prom is we find a school that's in need, regardless if it's from a national disaster or if it's from, just a really poverty-stricken
area.
So what we'll do is we'll find, 25 to 30 kids that can't afford to go to their senior prom, and we supply the dresses, the hair, the nails, the tuxedos, the vehicle to get there, whether that's a limo or a party bus, dinner, corsages, like literally everything. A to Z for prom. But then the catch is, I'm like, if I'm going to do this for you kids, then I get to come to prom.
Yes.
And we go every single year. Jackie's been with me to at least half of the proms, and we put on our tuxedos, and we freaking tear that dance floor
up. Fun. They're really
so
fun.
that's a really awesome, and we've done that so many different times.
Yeah.
But let's share a short, happy story about our favorite Project Prom and which high school it was and why we loved it.
I have two favorite ones. The Barringer High School one, because those kids were so awesome. They were so thankful.
So thankful.
So happy. And then they were so nice to each other. Remember, they each one of them went on their own. They just made 2 rows, and each kid would walk down, and everybody would cheer for them, and that was so cute.
Like there was no bullying. There was no alienating
everybody
people. There
was
included. No trying to look cooler than the other people. It was a culture of that was the most positive high school prom that I've ever even seen.
Me too.
That was awesome. They even sang
Oh,
my other best friend, Joanna Doherty, that went to college with me. Yeah, my 2 best friends are girls. They're also best friends with my wife.
Yes.
We went, and it was her birthday.
Actually, her birthday that day.
It was on her birthday that she went, and the entire senior class circled around her to sing her happy birthday.
That was
and it
so
was
fun.
like you
I
could
still
look at
have
her
that
face.
Video.
And that was just...
It was so cute.
And I didn't even ask them to do it. I just said... Somebody said something about it being her birthday.
Yeah.
And they did it on their own.
They did. That was so
what a
cute.
match. So shout out to Barringer High School. What's your other favorite story?
My favorite other one was the one we just did at the special needs school.
That one was cool.
Yeah, that
so
was.
we did. This was the first time we did a special needs
That
high
was
school.
the first time.
So it was actually you were the person that found that high school because
Yeah.
a lot of the times, and I'm not saying this because I'm some super fancy celebrity or anything. Like I love to do charitable things, and I have visions for blessing people, but like I'm not good at details.
Right.
And Jackie on 100 different occasions has, and you're actually the person, like if I have an Instagram caption contest or an Instagram contest, Jackie will go through all the comments and like pick the funniest ones or pick the person that's most deserving. So a lot of the charitable stuff, almost all of the charitable stuff I've done in my whole life, you have been
I
like
get to pick it.
the wizard behind the curtain.
Because that's my favorite thing.
I know,
to pick
I know. She doesn't want to be seen in front of the camera, and I don't mind at all. But she loves blessing people.
Yeah. That is
And
fun.
so, where was it? Oh, the special needs. So she found the high school that was in need.
Yeah, it was
because they
James's sister-in-law.
James's sister-in-law,
it's
James
her-
Laval's
it's her-
sister-in-law. It
It's
was
her
her school.
She's a teacher at
So were they not able to have a prom?
They would have a prom, but it would be just like very basic, just in their
Yeah.
cafeteria. Like I don't even think they'd have anything, like just like soda
And
whatever.
so when we put a prom on for them, we donated a bunch of money and like made it like
beautiful,
just
it
like a
looked
freaking
so
night to
cool.
remember.
Yes, it was so
we
awesome.
we cut a check to be able to pay for just making
like
it
really
making it
cool
a real prom,
decorations,
not just
a
like
DJ,
not
like
just like
catered food even
it
for
was
these.
awesome.
That was, oh my God! I don't think
That was one of the best nights of my life.
I think you got hugged more times that night than
I
in
did.
your entire life.
I did.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that I keep going back and keep doing
that
it.
was so fun.
That's and you know what? Special Olympics in general.
Yeah.
You and I have been heavily
yeah.
involved in that.
Yeah.
Like I freaking love Down syndrome kids.
Yeah, they're
Down
so
syndrome
happy.
kids, they love hugging.
They don't have a bad day.
Who do you know that loves hugging more than me?
Nobody.
Nobody. Hug life.
Yep.
Hug life. But special needs kids love hugs too, so it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
dude, I'm gonna serve
And they
you.
were
You serve me.
dancing so hard. They
Sweating.
were sweating so hard that they couldn't have been having more fun.
That was a magical
That
night.
was so fun. And then they did pick
What
like
about
a prom
what
king
about
and
when we
queen.
picked? Yeah, I was gonna
And
say,
you-
what about when we picked the prom
And you
king?
announced it, and they were like, ah! They were like, it was like they won an
It was
Oscar.
like a movie.
Yeah,
It
it was
was like a movie.
It was awesome. That was so sweet.
That was awesome. All right, next story. Let's talk about our trip to Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
So New York Yankee Stadium, they put together a fundraiser benefiting there were 4 police officers that had been slain. And it was a fundraiser
For those families.
And for the department to take care of the officers that had lost their life in the line of duty. And so it was kind of like a somber reason to do this, but it was really, really cool to see New York City and New Jersey come together and
the
freaking
stadium
feel,
was packed for a charity event.
to
That was
fill
cool too.
Yankee Stadium. And I was asked to play in the game, and
Yeah.
I don't know why they asked me, because New York City, they could have found a lot of bigger celebrities than me, but they know that I'm like massive
Right.
law enforcement supporter. So they asked me to play, and it was like you looked into 2 dugouts. It was one dugout was the law enforcement
Was
New York-
NYPD.
was NYPD,
Yeah.
and then the other dugout was filled with like dignitaries and like super celebrities.
Like
Name off a couple of them because I don't even remember all of them. I mean, it was like U.S. senators.
Rudy Giuliani.
Uh-huh.
Former baseball players, which I wish I
Yeah,
knew
you don't
their
even know
names.
athletes, but there was like, I mean, all of them
Like
were out.
Chris Christie and
The governor of New Jersey,
Yeah.
Chris Christie, and it was like Knicks
Artie
players.
Lang.
Artie Lang,
Yeah.
the comedian. And it was cool. Boomer Esiason was there. It was just
Yeah.
like, it was
It
a
was
ton
really
of like A-list celebrities, like
Oh,
Hall of
Who's
Famers.
the football player that his wife is a country singer, and he was a Jet, and he was
Oh,
like really popular.
Eric Decker.
He was
Decker
like
was
very
there.
popular in New York at
Yeah,
that time
he was
too.
because he's more handsome than Tom Brady. So he was there. So the whole story is, so I got invited to play in this game, and so everywhere I go, all charity events that I go to, I always bring Jackie with me.
Right.
And Jackie kind of like, I guess for lack of a better word, you're like my bulletproof vest. You make sure that like
Yes.
I don't do anything stupid, and nobody does anything stupid to me.
Right.
Plus, you're really good at taking pictures of me doing epic stuff. So kind of like a little bit of a photographer, but really more like a safety precaution. And
I'm a
I
very
can
short
go.
bodyguard.
I'm
also.
allowed to go do anything I want to do as long as I bring you with me, according to my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I could go to a strip club. If I bring you with me, my wife would let me go. Agreed?
Because she knows I would just be like,
All right. So,
can go.
the event started. We arrive at Yankee Stadium, and I'm stoked because I'm gonna be able to walk out onto Yankee Stadium and like hit a softball in front of, I don't know, 60,000 people.
yeah.
And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about putting a jersey on. I'm excited about meeting the NYPD. I'm excited about meeting the other celebrities that are there. And so Jackie comes with me, and she's standing outside of the locker room when we're getting dressed, and she's just walking. Every person that walks out is like your favorite person, like Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
Like
he's
he's
sort of
the
a weirdo
man.
now, but at that time he was the man.
He listens
because
to
of
this
September
podcast.
11.
He listens to this podcast. Rudy Giuliani does. Did you know I was in a urinal next to him at the Kentucky Derby when I was 19? What's up, Rudy? What you working with? So anyway, tons of cool people. So anyway, so the game gets over, and Chris Christie, which is the governor of
New Jersey,
is addressing Yankee Stadium.
But everybody hated him at that time.
And everybody hated him because of a bunch of political stuff, and he was like cutting funding for blah, 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 blah. We don't have to get into the details. Yeah. So whatever. And to make things worse, which is really the cardinal sin, is he was a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
And like he was open about it. And so he's talking, and the whole crowd, the entirety of Yankee Stadium was booing him, right?
Everybody
was booing him.
Because the cops really hate him, and
right.
everybody was hating him.
I don't know why they let him like get the mic at that game.
Yeah, it was like between innings, they were doing like people were going out and giving speeches.
So he was giving his speech, and he was standing like right behind home plate. Nobody else is on the field.
No.
It's just him on Yankee Stadium field.
He was like on the pitcher's mound. He was in the middle of the
That's
stadium.
right. He wasn't behind home plate. He was on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
He was addressing the crowd. They're all booing him. So I decided to save him. Actually, I didn't decide to save him. I ran out there because we were leaving, weren't we?
Yeah, like the celebrities had certain chunks of time they were there to play,
right.
and
so
your
I
time
played
was
like
over.
the first through third inning or something, and so I was done, and other celebrities were going to come back out, and so as we were walking off the field, I ran up and grabbed the mic from him.
At full speed, you ran at him.
I
All
did.
the state troopers around him stiffened up. They got nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Because
I
I knew one of them. One of the troopers that was there was my friend, and he was like, they all panicked.
Because I sprinted?
Yes, full force. You went right. I was walking behind you, and I was just like looking down, and all of a sudden I looked up, and you weren't there. You were just running straight, and I was like, "Oh God!"
And
please don't do something bad.
I was really playing to the crowd
and you
too.
knew I couldn't catch up to you
because
and stop you.
I knew nobody was a fan of Chris
Nobody
Christie.
was listening to
and
him.
so I could have grabbed the mic and said anything, and they would have cheered. Not because they love me, although there was a fair amount of love for me there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Weatherford fans there.
But it was really just because I like interrupted him. So I grabbed the mic from him and I go, "Go Giants!" And the entire you could tell the story. What did the crowd do after that?
Roared. They roared so loud. They were cheering like crazy. And then you gave the mic back to him and hugged him. And he was like just smiling, like with a weird face on, like he was just like uncomfortable, but he was still being polite.
He was probably happy to get some cheers because he was getting booed out of Yankee Stadium.
And then you just started running back away towards the door, and you like grabbed me by my wrist and like dragged me behind you. But then when we got to the door to leave, it was locked, and the state trooper had to come over, and I thought he was gonna come yell at us because you just like.
No, he high-fived me.
Yeah,
sure.
He was happy. He was like, "That was awesome," and then he unlocked the door and let us out.
All right, here's another happy story. How about the day Josie Jaclyn was born? So just
awesome.
for everybody listening, my best friend is Joanna Doherty.
Mm-hmm.
We went to University of Illinois together. Then she moved to New Jersey to become a lawyer, and now she's a super badass lawyer.
Yes.
And she also became best friends with Jackie.
Yes.
And so I named my daughter Josie because I don't like the name Joanna.
Right.
So I named her Josie, and her middle name is Jaclyn, after my other best friend, Jaclyn DellaTorre, that we're sitting with today.
Right.
So when JJ was born, it was in California. Jackie lives in New Jersey. And take it away.
I was in New Jersey, and it was the first baby that was born in California that I knew since I knew you guys. So I was so sad about it because I didn't want to miss getting to meet her right away. So Steve FaceTimed me during Laura's labor.
She's literally like
she's
pushing,
literally
like
pushing and in labor.
And I'm FaceTiming selfie style. Come on, babe. Come
yeah.
on. Say hi to Jackie.
and she was fine with it at first, but then all of a sudden, right before she pushed, she was like, "Hang up, Jackie. We'll call you right back." And literally, she hung up. We hung up, and maybe 2 minutes later, they called back, and JJ was like, "Ah!" Born instantly.
Yeah.
That was
It was
amazing.
less than 2 minutes.
It was amazing. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a while. I was like afraid I wouldn't be able to stay a week because of the time difference.
I filmed it from the first push to me holding JJ was 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Like I filmed it. So like I have empirical proof. It was 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
And you were holding her and she was so fat.
It was so
she was
fat.
so
Was
fat.
she 10.5?
Yeah, I think
she was
so.
10 pounds 5 ounces.
She was like her whole face was
so that
big.
was one baby.
Yeah.
And then the next baby that we had, and that is Golden Grace.
Yep.
Goldie is one
Just
now.
one.
Her
Yep.
birthday is December 27th. She's also a California born. And I FaceTimed her for that one, and that was also like my wife like turned over, farted, and there was a baby.
Yeah,
I don't know
that one
how
I
my
stayed
wife.
on. That time, Laura was just talking.
It's
to
like
me.
the fifth kid.
Yeah, she was having like an actual conversation with me, the nurses.
She didn't sweat.
She was pushing and looked over at the camera and went, "How's the weather in New Jersey?" I was like, "It's okay, no snow." And she pushed again, and then that was it. Goldie was born. She didn't even miss a beat, nothing.
No.
Oh, I'm not good.
So yeah, my wife, like as good as I am at like football, or as good as I am at, building a business or being an entrepreneur or public speaking, like the things that I'm really good at.
Yeah.
My wife is better at having kids than I am at anything.
That was like amazing. I never saw it. Was even quicker than like a movie.
Yeah.
Birth.
It was faster than like when they hyperlapse it in a movie.
It was amazing.
And
that was like
she talks the whole
that
time.
was like one of my top 3 most amazing things I've ever been a part of. That was so cool.
And think about this. It's not like her kids, like the babies that she's having naturally, mind you, not C-section,
No.
naturally, 9 pounds, 9 pounds 2, 9 pounds 10, 10 pounds even, and 10 pounds 5. So she's had babies from 9 pounds all the way up to 10 and a half pounds.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, but she walks out of the hospital the next
A day later, yeah.
wearing the jeans that she had on
before
she got pregnant.
I
Like,
know.
she is a
freak.
genetic freak.
It's amazing.
I mean, she does.
It's
She works hard, and she's into her, her fitness, and she takes care of herself. But not like me. Like she doesn't train every morning at 5 a.m.
No.
She'll go for a jog and do her Pilates and stuff like that. But she's not like hardcore into fitness. She's just genetically gifted.
She's a made baby
to
maker.
create babies and give life to babies.
And Goldie is the hugest 1-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
Know.
She's already like up past my knee.
I know.
She's huge.
It's a savage family.
It's a savage
Jackie.
family.
You fit right in.
Yeah, right. Clearly.
NFC Championship game. This is the hardest I've probably ever partied in my whole life, because I'd gone to 3 championship games. I went to the NFC Championship game with the Saints my rookie year, and I lost that game. I went to the AFC Championship game in 2009 with the Jets. We lost to Peyton Manning. And then I went to the AFC Championship game again the next year with the Jets, and we lost to Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. That game was cold as balls, by the way. And so this is the 4th time I went to the championship game. It was in 2012 playoffs. We were playing in Candlestick Park, RIP. Alex Smith was the quarterback. We went into overtime. We won the game. And for the Giants fans that are listening to this, that's the picture of me saying we're going to the Mother Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was that game.
Yeah,
so I came home, and I was like, the next day after that, I was me, and I'm not a quarterback or anything. I was on the front page of almost every single newspaper in the country just because of my celebration. It had nothing to do with my performance, although I did have a really great game. Super fortunate for that. I had a dozen punts in that game, and we won. But I was so I was like on cloud 9. I'm like, I made it. I'm going to the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah.
And Laura was there, right? Laura was there because I was here. Me and Joe, I think, were here with Carney and Ace at your house in Marstown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember checking my phone after that game, and I had 296 text messages. And it's not like a lot of people have my phone number,
Yeah.
but pretty much everybody that had my phone number texted me after that game. She's
Yeah.
like, dude, I saw you on TV. And my mom asked me, she was like, so what exactly did you say when the – because I didn't know the TV was, like, zoomed in on my face. And so I was like, we're going to the MFing Super Bowl. And they slow-moed it, like, 10 times in a row.
Syllable, yeah.
Like
You
slow-moed
knew what
it.
you said. That was
So I
funny.
told my mom, I'm like, we're going to the 46th Super Bowl.
That was
She
Sorry,
didn't,
Lissa.
She didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. I love you. You did a good job raising me. You taught me to speak better than that, but I don't even remember doing that. I was like blacked out from adrenaline.
Yeah.
So then we get home that night all the way
Yeah.
from San Francisco, and then so we actually got home at like 3:00 in the morning.
Monday, yeah.
And then Monday, a bunch of the guys on the team decided to meet at Lava, which is like a super trendy,
Like fancy schmancy New York
like
restaurant.
club restaurant.
Yeah.
Like it's a restaurant up until like 10 p.m. and then it turns into a club. They
Yeah.
pull all the tables out and everything. So it was like me, Brandon Jacobs, Justin Tuck, just the 5 or 6 like of my best buddies
and
on the team.
Michael Cohen.
And Michael
was
Cohen.
there,
Yeah. Michael partied
And
with
that
us that
other
night.
really big basketball player guy was there. Do you remember? You made us take a picture. I
Yeah,
don't
Kevin
remember
Williams.
Who it
He
is,
was
but
7 foot tall.
Yeah, his hand was like this huge.
Kevin Willis. Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame NBA guy.
Yeah.
That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we partied our little nuggets off
And
that night.
Gianni.
And Gianni was with us.
Me and Gianni took the train
That's right,
to
because
meet
he was
you
taking
guys.
Moose home.
He didn't mean to take Moose home.
But he ended up doing
yes,
it. Right.
yeah.
So anyway, so we partied hard. I mean, we were partying so hard. And
But
so
also,
we're on our way
I just
home.
want to say a disclaimer.
What?
I didn't eat anything. And
Don't ruin the story.
But also, I don't usually drink vodka. But I felt like I had to because everyone was being fancy and they were drinking vodka. And I'm like a wine drinker.
So
I
just so
drank
everybody
vodka.
knows what direction this story is taking,
I got really drunk.
I don't condone binge drinking, but we were binge drinking this night.
And I think
And
I ate
boy,
oysters.
did we abuse
I
it.
ate raw oysters too.
Yeah, we did
Why
it so
did I
big.
eat that?
So anyway, so Jackie like finished working and then met us in the city.
Yeah, got on the train with Gianni. We ran.
Right.
Took a cab quick
So
to
then
Lava.
we partied like it was 1999.
Yes, a
And
lot.
we didn't stay out that late. It was like 12:30.
Yeah, we came home early, but then Gianni
So
and Moose stayed in
Mom-
with Brandon
My
Jacob.
wife drove us home, right?
Yeah.
Who was driving my car?
Yeah, I think Laura was driving because she was pregnant,
Right. My wife was driving the car, so I knew I had a DD.
and you were.
And I was sitting shotgun, and you were sitting behind me, and we're driving home through. Was it the Holland Tunnel?
I think we had gotten through the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not asking
yeah.
you that question because you have no idea how we
Well,
got home.
I think we were in New Jersey when it happened, though.
No,
No.
we were absolutely in New York City.
Well,
I
I
remember.
can remember you pulling over and getting snacks, and you're like, "What do you want?" And I said, "Ginger ale and a granola bar." And I remember eating it and chugging the ginger ale quickly.
Yeah, and then about 2 minutes later, I hear like, it wasn't even like, like you would think somebody vomits. It was like.
Because I was probably trying
You were trying to make sure nobody heard you vomiting a half a bottle of
because you
vodka.
had other people in the car with
You
us.
vomited like this. You go like puked into your hand and tried to like muffle the sound of you vomiting. And I couldn't even tell if you were vomiting. And then I go, Jack, are you okay? You go, what'd you say?
I said, "Yeah," and you said,
Yeah.
"Did you just throw up?" And I said, "Mm-hmm."
Did you just puke in my car? And you go, mm-hmm.
All over.
And mind you, that was not my car. I had a car deal with Infinity. So, like, when I was playing in New York,
Yeah.
the 6 months I was playing in New York, Infinity would give me a car to drive,
Yeah.
and I would do, like, an autograph signing at their dealership or whatever. And so, like, I wasn't pissed because I was just going to trade the car in and go get a new one anyway.
Yeah.
Because I got a new car, like, every 2 months. I would get 3,000 miles and then trade
Yeah,
and get a
yeah,
new
yeah.
one. So I wasn't pissed at all, but you were so embarrassed.
Because
That
you
was
called.
awesome.
Because then I had to go to work the next day, and you called me at work on the work phone. I think I don't even think you called my cell phone because you wanted to make sure you
Everybody
talked to
knew?
me. Well, you wanted to make. I think you knew I wouldn't answer my cell phone because I was embarrassed, and you said, "So I just got done cleaning up some of your vomit." And I was like, "I know, I'm sorry." That was the worst. It was all over.
That
What's
was
her
fun.
name's feet?
That was
Ugh.
fun. That was a
I'm
good
so
time.
embarrassed.
Um,
That was my worst one of my worst moments. Not my worst. I can't say.
So a lot of people don't know this, and I still don't really know why, and I don't even think you know why you hate your birthday so much.
Yeah, I hate my birthday.
You hate your birthday.
I do.
You're like the Grinch, but not Christmas with your birthday.
I know. I don't like
You're the
being
Grinch of
that way,
birthday.
but I want to be a regular person, but I'm not.
I made a really valiant effort to try to help you love your birthday one year. What year was that?
It was 2 years, 3
16?
years ago.
16.
Yeah.
2016, on September 18th, 2016, I got Joanna, our the best friend, and one other dude, right? Did we have another person with us?
Yeah, we had Elliot, Livy.
Elliot, your cousin, and Livy. That's right.
And
So for her birthday, I knew that she doesn't want people to like make a big deal about her birthday. She doesn't want presents. She doesn't want to like go out to dinner. She doesn't want cake. So I'm trying to think like, what would Jackie like to do for her birthday besides be left alone and nobody call her, and definitely don't put anything on Instagram. We ended up going and feeding homeless.
Yeah.
And giving them clothes,
yeah,
et cetera,
me and
et
Joe,
cetera, et
like,
cetera.
and everyone collected like bunches of stuff.
What was the park that we went to in New York?
We went to Washington Square Park.
I made a lot of friends
You
that
made
day.
a lot of friends. Yeah, that was so fun.
I smelled so bad after that day.
We all did, because you hugged
I hugged-
everyone,
I
even
hugged
the
everyone.
grimiest
I did.
looking people. You
Yeah,
hugged
those
them.
are the people that need the hug the most.
I think so too.
But man, my skin smelled.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that to be funny. Like literally my skin
Yeah.
smelled for days.
But everyone was so nice,
It was
except
awesome.
one
It was
lady.
totally
One
worth it.
lady was mad, but everybody else was so happy,
Yeah,
and they
but I
hugged
think she had
us,
some
and they
mental
were.
issues.
And then we got rid of everything we brought, and then we went into CVS and bought
And bought a
more
whole bunch
stuff.
more, yeah.
And Livy bought that bag of dog food because she saw a homeless lady with a dog. She felt bad.
Livingston. She's a good girl.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was my best birthday.
That was.
Yeah.
So we're recanting all of these amazing stories that we've had together. And she really is. She is the most, you are the most kind
Thank you.
and the most thoughtful and the most caring person that I've ever met in my life.
Thank
and
you.
I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you too.
I love you.
Love you too.
But out of all these stories that we've shared, you
Mm-hmm.
have a jillion more.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying.
Ah, man, I thought I
Sorry.
made you emotional.
My eyes tearing.
But she, for the
sorry.
last 2 years, she has been working on a passion project because you really have lived the weirdest life.
I have.
Like almost every single week, you call me with like the most random, bizarre story of
know.
like how do these things happen to you, and not necessarily like bad things, just totally freaking weird things. Like, oh, I was at the mall and this happened and that happened, and then I pooed my pants.
Right.
Like just the most random weird things happen to you.
I
But the
didn't poo my
thing is, like, when was it? I know I'm getting totally off topic here, but it was like a year ago. I was at a charity event. No, it was when it was Relentless. When I was at the Relentless event with you guys, with Guy and Nico.
Yeah.
Remember when we were at the Relentless event and I pooed my pants? Remember? I told you guys about it. Like, I thought I could, like, squeak a fart out, and it was more than that. It's more than what I reckoned.
You can't trust farts.
You can't
sometimes.
trust a fart. And so I took a picture of my dirty underwear because I had to go straight to the bathroom and, like, take my underwear off. I took a picture of my underwear, and I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Point being is you share all of those, like, really embarrassing things about yourself.
Yeah.
But I respect that, and I love that about you because
Well, also you knew
it
I'd
gives
laugh that
me
you
it
pooed
gives
your
me a
pants.
good opportunity to laugh, and I think really at the end of the day, like, that's your gift.
Thanks.
I know you love to do that, but you're also very, very gifted at doing it.
Thanks.
You know, you should be like a hairdresser comedian, but in order for you to get there, start with a book. So Jackie, for the last 2 years, has been working on, I mean, short story. I guess you would describe it as like short stories.
Yeah.
So how many chapters is the book?
I have 23.
23 chapters. So each chapter takes like what, like 7 minutes?
Yeah, it's a quick read.
Yeah,
It's
like
a-
seven. Like it's a great bathroom book.
Yeah.
Sit it by your
Good
toilet.
bathroom book.
Giggle for 10 minutes while you
Yeah.
evacuate your bowels, and you're gonna leave that toilet happier for more than one reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hope so.
So anyway, so her book, Chapstick Eater, is 23 stories, like really similar to the ones that we shared today.
Yeah.
And it's been fun because a lot of those, not a lot, but there's several of those stories that are in that book because I've had obviously a chance to read it. There's a lot of those stories that you haven't shared with me, but like
Right.
totally explain like why you're so weird. Because as kind and generous and loving and caring as you are, you're freaking weird, man.
I know.
You know? And I
Yeah.
love that though. So anyway, shout out to all the weirdos out there too.
Yeah. Weirdos for life.
So Jackie's got an Instagram account called Chapstick Eater, which is pretty much just like a comedy
It's
account.
just like a meme account to make
that's-
people like me and think I'm funny.
No, it's just, dude, you just like to make people laugh.
I do.
You know, so that's like why you started the Instagram page, and then that's why you wrote this
Yeah.
book, and the book is out now. People can get it on Amazon.
On Amazon, yeah.
Chapstick Eater by Jaclyn DellaTorre. I can't believe you're an author. You wrote a book before I wrote a book.
Well, you wrote ebooks. Same thing.
Cool. ArmageddonEbook.com. Get bigger arms. Doesn't necessarily get you to the top of the New York Times bestseller. Granted, tens of thousands of people
Right,
all
from
over
the
this
whole
globe
world,
are
yeah.
filling out their T-shirts and pushing up bigger bench presses than they ever have. But for some reason, I never made it to the New York Times bestseller. Accept it. You're an author before me.
I'm an author.
You are. So anyway, guys, this is my best friend. When I'm depressed, when I have anxiety, she's the person that puts me back together and talks me off of the ledge, because I do struggle with that. I know a lot of people struggle with that. Everybody needs a friend like Jaclyn DellaTorre. But if you don't have one, go get Chapstick Eater, because that'll give you a good giggle. And you know what? Once you see how Jackie's life has been for the last 38
It'll
years,
make you feel better about
you won't think your life's been that bad. So anyway, guys, I know this episode is totally different than all the other ones. But at the end of the day, man, this podcast is like my journey, and Jackie's been such a huge part of my life and such a huge part of my journey. She's been indirectly responsible for a lot of my successes because, you know, when I have my tough times or my bad days, she's the one that like gives me that injection of positivity and gets me back on track. So I love you,
try.
and I'm thankful
love
for
you
you. Go to Amazon, get Chapstick Eater. If you love this episode, let me know. I'm being serious. If you love this episode, send me a direct message on Instagram, because I'll do more shows like this, like telling more stories. I love to tell stories. It takes me like 2-3 hours sometimes to put together these podcasts when I'm trying to go illustrate different ways to change your life. But I think there's ways that I can draw learning lessons from some of the mistakes that I've made by telling stories. So if this is an episode that you guys love because I kind of took you behind the curtain and told you more about like what happens back there, you let me know, because I definitely want to continue to have like very highly influential, highly successful people on here sharing their success tactics. But if you guys want to hear more stories from my life and how I got to where I am and how I'm going to get to where I'm going, I love doing that too. So send me a direct message. Let me know. We love subscriptions. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And please leave us a review, because the more reviews that we get, the more exposure for the show that we're going to get. And that means more people listen. The more people listen, the better opportunity I'm going to have the President of the United States on my podcast one day, or Oprah, or Tony Robbins. I'm working on all of them, guys. I appreciate you. I love you, Jackie. I love you so much. It looks awesome with you having your headphones on right now, because you look like you're doing the NFL play-by-play.
Or I feel like I'm like a little kid with earmuffs on,
Hey,
like
Chris,
a fat kid with earmuffs.
Hey, Chris Berman. Whoop! All right, I love you guys. Don't forget to leave a review, and we'll see you next week.
Down the field, Hollywood!
Let me think about that one.
77 yards! Whoa! Who is this kid?
Mister.